Dave, I know this is probably going to hurt the pair of you, but I would like to hear the story of Hunt Ball at Wincanton.
I reckon it was your namesake, Simon. Mr. Knott, I think
Spelled
his
with
name
a K.
K.
Spelled with a K,
Okay.
they are, yes.
Right. So we were betting round. There was it looked like the meeting was going to be cancelled because the roof sheets were blowing and they had a health and safety inspection. So they decided that they would shut Tats, and we would bet on the hedge around from Tats into the members.
I remember it, yeah.
So they come out of the parade ring in. We had a good pitch that day, and we're poodling away. We weren't taking a lot of money, just hoping to get a day's wages. With that, again, Jane is on the front and I'm on the computer. Somebody comes in. I'm going to say he had $2,000 on site. I'm not sure. It's possibly he had $4,000. Blah, blah, blah. So we've taken the bet. The price collapsed on the machine and I'm running around in the ring. He must have bet it with every single bookmaker that day. And I remember running along to Andrew and saying, look, I just laid this. And Andrew saying to me, yeah, so have I, plumber. But don't worry, it won't win. So the horse absolutely bolted up. It sluiced up and it won. And and they're all out for their money. We'd also laid it as well prior to that to our regular point-to-point punters who you're obligated to lay the price. We ran out of money. We genuinely ran out of money, and we were sort of panicking. What can we do? That it brings home how we've made friends and how people trust. People helped us out, really did help us out, so we had enough cash to pay out. But so to answer your question is, we didn't. We packed in then. After that, there were 2 more races, and we pulled down, loaded the car, and we stopped off in the Blue Bowl on the way home, Chew Magna or Mender, and we had a bottle of wine and we had a meal, and that was it. We felt sick, but
life goes on.
Yeah, we didn't bring it home, and that was it.
And to put this in perspective for people that weren't there, I saw the guy that bet it walking around literally with a bin bag, chucking the money in. That's how much they had on.
Can you remember he jumped on the back of the horse as well?
I do. I remember, yeah.
And in the winners' enclosure, and he got fined for that.
He did, didn't he?
It was only £300, but he got fined.
Now, that was one of those memorable days, obviously,
Yes.
wrong reasons for you, but I remember it very well because I was there myself. So, right, you bet at Wincanton. Where do you bet these days? Where are your pitches?
All southwest, so Newton Abbot, down as far as Exeter, Newton Abbot, and up as far as Chester, and lots in between. Epsom is our furthest south, Chester our furthest north, and all the local tracks, Chepstow, Bath, Taunton,
Ascot,
Worcester,
we've got a pitch at Leicester.
Cheltenham.
We've been able to choose when we go. So we've got quite a lot of pitches. Worcester, and we're off. We built the business so as we could go out most weekends and through the summer on the evenings. So we selected pitches that suited and added them to our portfolio.
To go along with your job.
To go along with the job.
Is that going to change now that you've retired?
I think through the summer, we will probably go out to some of the local meetings, pick our days still. There's lots of places you wouldn't want to go.
Yeah. Do you put a lot of thought into the ones you will attend and the ones you don't? The ones you're going to swerve?
You do, don't you?
Yeah, we look, and like I say, we study the sort of fixture list when we've been buying pitches, and it was Exeter yesterday. Now, a year ago, we went to Exeter yesterday and did such poor business. We decided that we wouldn't go again there, and we won't be going next week.
So, what's your angle as a bookmaker? I mean, do you go through the form of making opinion, or what would your the way you tackle it be?
Do you want
When I go out, I don't bet to an opinion. I bet to figures, and that's all I can say about that because I don't study form, so I do bet to figures definitely.
But we will have a look, and if Jane is going, Jane went on New Year's Day to Exeter, so we had a glance through at the horses that we thought there might be money for and what we might do, and so we would sort of then be careful on the pricing up of those. If we thought that something was a good thing, or we've watched horses run, and I say that to Jane and Lucy, you have your own opinion and bet to your own opinion because nobody is better than your own eye.
And you know when to get stuck in and when not to get stuck in, when they're betting well or they're betting badly.
We're not always right, man, because we'll go back down ball because Lucy when Lucy was the youngest female
Lucy, your daughter.
Lucy,
Lucy's
and when we decided that Hunt Ball had too much weight to win at Cheltenham. And then Lucy, we stood it, and it sluiced up, and Lucy had to go on Channel 4 the next day.
Now, people these days are of the opinion that Racecourse bookmakers, they turn up, they take as much money as they possibly can, then they press a magic button, and they win every race, and they go home and they can't possibly lose anymore. Now, what's the reality of that?
I don't even know how to green up. Do you?
I do, and again, so we don't green up. We haven't got into that at all. We do not green up. If I decided I would fiddle around myself and balance the book as best I could, and we went to Royal Ascot on the Saturday this year, and Lucy and Jane, so it's our business. And so we went out for dinner on the Friday, and it was a sellout. And I'd said, right, there were times today on the Friday when I thought I should have greened up for decent figures. So Lucy said, Dad, we've never greened up. You never green up. We shouldn't do it. So I went, okay, and had a couple more beers. On the Saturday, we got to the third or fourth race, and the figure was very enticing to green up. Okay, now we were betting in two separate locations, Lucy and her mum and me and a guy, so it was too much of an enticement not to green up. So I greened up, and we had a 33-1 winner, and you couldn't move in that ring. Lucy made her way 100 yards through that betting ring to give me a telling off, and then we'd agreed.
You were going to say something else then.
A proper dressing down.
You can say bollocking on this.
A proper dressing down.
Quite right too. Now, you bet in good pitches in the silver rings as well as in tats. Is there a difference in the way you play in each ring, or is it each day or each meeting? Each race even, that you sort of, are you consistently doing the same thing?
When we go out jointly, I normally go into the silver rings. I'm a slave to Dave, so I don't have anything to do with the price, unless I have to de-link because of obvious reasons, pricing wise. But you are quite impressed with what we take out, aren't you, in the silver rings?
Yeah, it is. Some of the silver rings is difficult. Some of the silver rings are holiday crowds. And exactly like you say, I'm not saying we have a big opinion on everything, but every now and again you want to get one in, and if you're in the silver ring, you're not always able to get, because the money isn't there. They're there with their family and they want to have their £2.50 each ways, etc. Whereas if you're in tats and you decided to pull one a bit, you would invariably lay it.
Right, okay. And you also bet at point to points.
Yes.
So what's the score there?
Yeah, I enjoy the point to points. We've got lots of friends at the point to points, and I enjoy going.
Okay, now all the times I've known you guys, you've taken holidays to bet at Royal Ascot, Glorious Goodwood. Have you always managed to make it pay to justify taking the time off work and covering the exes? Because the exes are quite considerable, especially because you like to enjoy yourselves as well.
You've been out with us at Goodwood. You know what our exes are like.
I know. So has it always paid for itself?
Well, Lucy is a sleeping. Lucy is a partner as a percentage of the business. So Lucy will come to when she can. She's now got 2 children, and that is an example. So we always go off Ascot to now. It's Lucy's has to take time off of work to come to the bigger meetings. And last year, it's Jane and I, Lucy couldn't come to Goodwood, and so I put the second Goodwood pitch up for sale. So Lucy didn't want us to sell anything, but she said, Dad, I think it's a good idea you sell it because we never ever make any money at Goodwood. And then I sat down and I said, Lucy, we stay there from Tuesday to Saturday. We go out, we eat in the top restaurants, we drink the place dry, and it never costs us a penny. I said we might not make any money at the end of the week, but it very rarely costs us money. So
it's a holiday.
Yeah, so Goodwood that would be one I don't think we get, but we enjoy it. And the other places, it's been worthwhile taking time off of work.
Okay, now we just mentioned you just retired. You've been successful as a plumber. As the bookmaking side of the business always been a bit more about having fun because you love it, or has it been important part of your added income?
It has been an important part of our added income. And what we've done over the years is, as we've mentioned, we would sort of have a little, if we made money, we would reinvest it and buy another pitch. There are times when, without doubt, I would have made far more, more money plumbing. But I enjoy the bookmaking. I enjoy the 99 times out of 100, I enjoy going, company, etc. We've made lots of really, really lifelong friends on the racecourse.
And was there any point where you considered turning in the plumbing and becoming a full-time racecourse bookie, the pair of you?
I'm going to say no.
I asked you to do it a few times,
Yeah.
didn't I? But Dave's got the sensible head and he decided no.
We had the guarantee. I had the wage coming in that would keep us going, which would educate the kids, which would pay our mortgage, would put food on the table, and which would build for retirement with a pension. And then the social times, we've had to work hard. When people criticise us, we've always worked sort of 7 days a week because of the full-time role, but because it was consistent and guaranteed the income, because the bookmaking can be a bit up and down, as you're aware.
Now, talking about the socialising, I remember a particularly good night in Arundel, Glorious Goodwood Week, where the HAZELL family suddenly became the Von Trapps. Do you want to share that with us? So you can mention the other bookmaker's name as well. I'm sure he won't mind.
You carry on.
Do you know what? We had some terrific nights. We went and we'd booked. In those days, the restaurants, we used to go to Butler's and...
Oh, I forget what it was called, the one next door.
But when we turned up on the Tuesday, they would be vying for our business.
On the Friday evening.
Are you coming here on the Friday? Both restaurants we alternated, and they would be, and I would organise the night out for about a dozen of us, or etc. And so they would offer us a bottle of champagne on Tuesday if we would book the Friday, etc. So we went to Butler's, we booked it, we had a nice long table. Yourself, Jeff Banks was there, Paul Gold. I'm trying to think. The table, I'm not even sure if
MJH.
Chip and Dale
Yeah.
were there. MJH were there.
I think they were actually.
Jeff Banks was with his partner. Gavin was there. Lucy was there.
Gavin being our son.
Gavin, Jeff Banks and his entire team there, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And I
he did.
didn't know what with Jeff. He sort of varies his team, didn't he?
There's all the ladies, weren't there?
Yes.
All the lady members of his team. Anyway.
Yeah, and it was a good old table. Anyway, and Johnny Purcell. Johnny Purcell was a bookmaker years ago, and I remember John from the flapping days at Breen. And I met John, so he was there, and John was a proper character. And we'd had a nice few drinks, and we decided, I'm not sure whether it was Edelweiss or...
No, I think it was the one, was it ABBA?
We had a proper sing-song in the end,
It was both,
didn't
I
we?
believe. I think we were singing
I think you got
Sound
into.
of
I
Music
think you
and
got
ABBA.
into your swing. I think it was the Sound of Music. But
Yeah,
did Jeff join? Did Jeff join
No,
in?
he was absolutely horrified.
I don't think he spoke to us since.
I don't think so.
But those are the sort of nights that made it worthwhile going to those big meetings.
Definitely, we do miss those nights. Yeah, we still go to the meeting, but we do miss those nights.
How come they don't happen anymore then?
I don't know. I think COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say, right up until COVID,
Yeah.
we were still having a Friday night, and the Goodwood. COVID knocked us out for a few years, didn't it? And then we didn't go. Last year, we didn't go on the Friday to Goodwood because it was the first. This year we did. We only did the two pitches, but it was only Jane and I. And we met local in the pubs and didn't. We will get that back on track for next year, Simon, I can promise you.
I look forward to it. Proper job.